New York Times saying in exchange, several Iranians jailed in the U.S. for sanctions violations would also be released. A final deal could still take several more weeks, so we're watching for that. Joining me now to talk more about it, Behnam Ben Taleblu. He is a senior fellow for the Foundation of Defense Democracies. Thank you for being with us. I want to play a soundbite from Secretary of State Antony Blinken on this possible deal.
It's a positive step that they were released from prison and sent to home detention. But this is just the beginning of a process that I hope and expect will lead to their return home to the United States. My belief is that this is the beginning of the end of their nightmare.
Is this a good deal? There's a lot of criticism around this possible swap.
Well, it's a pleasure to be with you. Unfortunately, there's no such thing as a good hostage deal with the government of the Islamic Republic, because by taking hostages, and make no mistake, that's a threat as old as the 4+ decades of the Islamic Republic itself. Viewers may remember the 444-day hostage crisis that began in November 1979 in between the Carter and Reagan administration. So this is a tried and true method for the government of Iran to continue to extract money. If it was just not even a cash transfer or access to frozen Iranian funds, but if it was just a swap, also, as you had mentioned, it would be a swap between guilty Iranians here on American soil and innocent Americans in Tehran. So first things first, there's no such thing as a good hostage agreement with the government of the Islamic Republic.
And there's also no way
to bring them home, though.
Right. And there's also no way to assure that the money will be used for humanitarian efforts, right? I mean, is that a front?
So the money that is being discussed in relation to this account, the $6 to $7 billion, was and remains frozen in South Korean banks, subject to U.S. sanctions. It's older Iranian oil money. But make no mistake, even when there are humanitarian safeguards on some of these accounts for Iran to be able to purchase goods or repatriate products, the regime has been able to engage in deceptive business practices like over-invoicing to be able to basically bust some of these sanctions and get around some of these restrictions that the U.S. and others have been able to put on these accounts.
Respond to the comment that I just read from former Vice President Mike Pence. He essentially said that Russia and China now know that the price has gone up. What are the larger implications of this type of deal?
You know, that's absolutely right. And it's not just for Iran's state partners like Russia and China that have their own strategic competition with America, but Iran's sub-state and proxy partners that dominate the heartland of the Middle East as well. Basically, when they see the Islamic Republic of Iran being able to extort America and be able to potentially get over $1 billion per hostage, that's going to have Iran's state partners like Russia and China interested on this approach to extract concessions from America, as well as its terrorist proxies in the heartland of the Middle East, which have done hostage taking for a very long time. So unfortunately, one of the challenges with this deal is it sets a larger precedent at a very troubling time in U.S. foreign policy.
And the other thing is, we've seen this in the headlines. It has been nearly a year since Mahsa Amini died after being beaten for improperly wearing her hijab. How is this deal going to impact the civil unrest that we're already seeing in Iran?
You know, I'm very glad you mentioned that, because we're coming up on the one-year anniversary of the nationwide protests which we've seen in boom and bust cycles since late 2017, actually, where the people of Iran are doing everything they can to oppose the government of the Islamic Republic of Iran. And this deal and any potential cash transfer, and worse, any potential side or limited or interim nuclear agreement that follows this deal that enriches the government of Tehran, would be a slap in the face of those protesters, as well as those who have died in different iterations of national uprising in that country.
Yeah, there is much more to this than meets the eye. Thank you for your perspective, Behnam Ben Taleblu. We appreciate it.
Pleasure. Thank you.
In Ecuador, police say at least one suspect is dead. 6 Colombians have been arrested in the assassination of the Ecuadorian presidential candidate, Fernando Villavicencio. The fatal shooting happened on Wednesday, 2 weeks before the election, and his death is sending shockwaves across that country. Villavicencio was a vocal critic of corruption and organized crime in Ecuador. He was shot while leaving a campaign event. According to Ecuadorian law enforcement, 9 other individuals were also shot at that night, including a candidate for the legislature. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.